Alright, this one is how Brian and Dan just like to light fires, I guess. It's going to be called Burnt Down a House because we burnt the entire inside of the house. It's a miracle that it actually fucking still stood, but they knocked it down 2 days later because the inside of that shit was destroyed. So let's start off the story. Brian's LASIK, you know the guy that moved out of the haunted house, moved down the mountain, finished, kept getting rides up the mountain to go to school, but finished that, whatever. He started 5th grade down the mountain, and it was tough to hang out with my good friend Dan. We were like best friends, but when my mom and dad were willing to drive me up the mountain, we'd hang out probably like once a week now, because I lived down the mountain, he lived up the mountain, and it was crazy. I always liked fire, I always was interested in fire. And I never knew it until I walked up there one day and he showed me what he was doing, and he was interested in fire. So I'm like, yo, I've been interested in this for years. I just never said anything. So me and him, we were like, yeah, this is going to be fun. So we're fucking chilling in this abandoned house every week, let's say once a week. We're just lighting a chair on fire. We're lighting fucking blankets on fire. We're lighting everything we could find on fire in this fucking house everywhere. We're like 11 years old, maybe 12, but... So, this one day, we just kept lighting fires like we always did in that house for hours in the abandoned house. And we lit this chair on fire, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And Dan kept looking at me. He's like, should we put it out? Should we put it out? I'm like, no, no, no. And then I'd be like, do you think we should put it out? He's like, no, let's just let it keep fucking going. Go, go, go. This fucking fire was like 10 feet fucking high by the time we realized, yo, we gotta put this shit out. So... we saw it, we're like, oh shit. The first thing that's going through my mind is, if we let this house burn down, it's going to catch it's surrounded by woods, it's going to catch the woods on fire and light the neighbor's houses on fire, and me and Dan are 11, 12 years old, we're going to go to fucking juvie until we're 18, and be locked up until we're 18, so I'm like, oh, fuck. So we're trying to put this shit out. I threw a blanket on it, which was a bad fucking idea. The blanket just lit on fire. We're like throwing shit on top of it, like trying to like kill the fire, just making it worse, just like a big more pile of shit, just fucking lighting up everywhere, lighting up. So eventually we have to run out of the house because all the black smoke, we couldn't breathe, we're like coughing our asses off, we can't breathe. And then me and Dan realized we left this dog in the house tied to the chair next to the chair that's fucking an inferno right now on fire. I'm like, oh fuck. And then I'm like, what are we supposed to do? He's like, I can't breathe, like we can't go in there, we can't breathe. I'm like, yo, we can't get a fucking animal cruelty charge on top of fucking burning down a house. So I ran in there, he ran to the side where there was a hole in the house. I got in there, I fucking got burnt on the chair next to it. I'm trying to untie the leash from the chair that we tied the leash to, and I can't fucking untie the damn thing. So he's waiting on the side. I fucking grabbed the chair, is my only option, pushed the chair through the hole in the side of the fucking house, and then pushed the dog out. And he was, he was there, and then Dan unhooked him, and then the dog just fucking booked it. He's like, fuck this. He fucking ran all the way back to Dan's house and started barking at Dan's front door. Eventually, his mom and dad saw all the smoke from the house and the dog barking. They knew something bad was going on, but they didn't even know it was us that was doing it. They thought it was like some high school kids. So what me and Dan do after that, I get out of the fucking house. My lungs are shot. I can't fucking breathe for shit. So me and Dan do, I'm like, yo, we gotta go get a bucket of water from the lake. So we're fucking running. I'm like, yo, I don't want to go to juvie forever. I don't want to go to juvie. I hope this house don't burn down and the whole fucking neighborhood don't burn down. So we're running down a fucking cliff like this. Dan fucking falls first. He fucking starts rolling down the fucking cliff. Then I fall. I fucking fly down a cliff. There, this is an important part. I gotta describe this. So there was a stick, like a little tree that was coming out of the ground, but it was halfway broken off, like about at 3 feet high, and it had a really pointy, sharp edge to it. I fell down the fucking cliff. I landed right on that stick on my upper thigh right here. That stick fucking driven to my leg about an inch deep and broke off, and I kept rolling down the hill. So Dan's laughing at me, because, I really ate shit. It was fucking hilarious. I'm there, fucking trying to pull this fucking stick out of my leg. It's like an inch deep in my leg. I pull that shit out, it's fucking bleeding everywhere. I even thought it was funny, because I have a really high tolerance to pain. It was the funniest thing that happened to us while the house was burning down, because I was pretty pissed off. So we get the fucking bucket of water, we fucking start running back up the hill, we start running towards the house. Dan's dad's there. Dan's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? He sees that we get back there. Somehow the fire went from 10 feet. It was like hitting the ceiling in the house, burning everywhere. Maybe luck. I don't know what it is, luck, or the fire just burned out. The fire was only this big once we got back up that hill. We were gone for like 10 minutes. So Dan's dad took the bucket. He threw it on the fire. The fire went out. All of a sudden, we walk back to the house. There's fucking like 3 fire trucks, like 5 cop cars. There's fucking everywhere. Dan's parents just tell us to go downstairs. So we're downstairs all worried. Our faces are black from the black smoke of being in the house that long. We can't breathe. I'm an 11-year-old coughing a black shit like I've been smoking for 50 years. I fucking can't breathe for shit. He can't breathe for shit. We're all worried like, oh shit, I don't want to go to juvie for years. I don't want to go to juvie for years. So eventually the cops left, and then his parents came downstairs. My parents were already notified, so they were already at the house upstairs with his parents, and they were talking about it and everything. And I remember one of the first things my dad said. He's like, you got arrested for fucking arson? That's a first-degree fucking felony, you idiot. You're like 11 years old. I'm like, and this is the 4th time I've been in trouble with the cops by now. First time I was 4, second time I was 6, third time I was 7. See, when you're that young and you break the law, when I was 4, I pulled all the shit in the A&P, like all those coupons in the A&P thing. I got banned from A&P for a year. When I was 6, me and Dan kicked down a door. We only had to pay for the door. I guess they don't cuff you and arrest you when you're 6. And then when I was 7, me and this guy Chris broke a ledge, and we left somebody's water on for 3 days, the hose, so we just had to pay their water bill. And this was the 4th time. I was 11. We got in trouble with the cops. They didn't cuff us or bring us to the police station again. We just get the fucking notice in the mail that we got arrested for arson, and then we go to fucking court. I had a really good fucking lawyer because I have had lawyers in my family. I only got 6 hours community service for the whole thing. I'm like, wow, I thought I was getting arrested for years. And I think he got like 20 hours community service. It wasn't really that bad. It was like a slap on the wrist for both of us. It wasn't that bad at all. I mean, now I kind of wish, like, if I knew what I knew now when I was 11, if I would have let that whole fucking neighborhood, if that whole neighborhood would have burnt down, I probably wouldn't have got that many years. But who knows? It was a pretty fucked up story, and that's about it, and it's over.